Hi and welcome. It's Jessica Drummond here from the Integrative Women's Health Institute. And I want to talk with you about something fairly serious today that I think is often overlooked when we're working with our clients with pelvic pain, but also with other chronic pain conditions like headaches or joint pain or fibromyalgia, but in particular, women who have pain in the pelvis. I see this in particular across the, whatever the diagnostic codes are, whatever the diagnoses are. I see this across my clients of all ages and all levels of severity. So I want to talk with you today about how your clients' perceptions of safety, because after all, perception is reality, impact or maybe impacting her pain relief results, or if she's getting stuck and having trouble relieving her pain. So sorry about the glare today, the lighting's a little bit off, but I think we can still go through this and start thinking again, as we're thinking about a holistic model for pain relief, we really have to think about what is going on in that client's body, but also what is going on in her life. So let's start with her body. So we know from quite a bit of research now that adverse childhood experiences, otherwise known as ACEs, tend to set the stress resilience system at a bit of a disadvantage from childhood forward. So a woman who has experienced what is known as an adverse childhood experience, whether something terrible happened in her family, or she was a victim of abuse, or she was a survivor of war or a serious accident, something bad happened in childhood that then essentially would reset her stress resilience system from an endocrine perspective, making her physiology, her brain, her hormonal experience of stress jumpier, more likely to respond to something that maybe wouldn't bother someone who has a more resilient endocrine stress response system. And this happens because essentially where the stress response system starts in the brain is already sort of predisposed to be alert to danger. At the end of the day, all pain decisions occur in the brain, and the pain can exhibit anywhere in the body, and it's real pain. It's not, this doesn't at all mean the pain is in your head, but our pain experience begins and ends to some extent in the brain. And so when the brain is less resilient to stress because your client or patient has been exposed to something difficult or terrible in childhood, we need to take that into account and do more work to strengthen the resilience of her stress endocrine response. Also, abuse history is essentially an adverse childhood experience, which can very specifically result in increased risk for pelvic pain. Also, when women are experiencing hormonal lows, so when their pain tends to be cyclical, especially when estrogen and progesterone levels are at their lowest, just a couple of days before and at the very start of her menstrual cycle, or if she's immediately postpartum or several months postpartum and still nursing, or through the transition of perimenopause to menopause, for any reason that her estrogen and progesterone levels are lower, these hormones are somewhat protective against pain, particularly joint pain. So women that feel kind of creaky in the joints and also have vaginal dryness tend to be struggling with hormonal lows. So we need to start tracking that and support those hormones. Estrogen, for example, can be supported with maca in many cases. Progesterone can be supported with Chaste Tree Vitex in some cases, or vitamin C. So again, this is a case-by-case solution, but let's look for some commonalities in your client's potentially cyclical or even irregular experience of pain, but maybe when it might show up related to hormonal lows. Also, neurotransmitter and nutrient lows. As I said, the pain experience tends to, essentially it's expressed through the brain. So when there is a low in serotonin or GABA, and some of those can be related to nutrient deficiencies, that then your client, we need to support her neurotransmitter optimization. Now, it's not really generally as simple as just sort of substituting those neurotransmitters with things like serotonin reuptake inhibitor drugs or things like that, but sometimes that can be helpful, and there are nutritional ways to do that which can be even more effective in the short term and the long term as we restore hormonal and nutrient optimization. So we really, again, we're working to strengthen the intense or less severe. Now we also have to consider her life. And, right now in the United States and certainly around the world in various places, it's been a really kind of shaky time. People feel less secure, less safe in their environments. Many people have lost their homes related to storms, hurricanes. We had a huge mass shooting recently. So, these things are happening all the time around the world, and sometimes really close to home, and sometimes they hit our clients in their home. Someone is directly affected in their home or their neighborhood or their community. And so again, as we shore up the resilience of the body, we want to help women shore up the resilience of their lives. And some key places to look for: financial strength, power. Does she feel that she's educated enough in a field where she can have a strong, secure job? How's her job security feeling? How's the job security of her family? If, she's in a 2-income or 1-income household and maybe her partner or her spouse is working, how's the family job security? How's her ability to get a job? What about a major life change? Is she dealing with divorce or a job loss, or has she lost money for some other reason? And many women, quite honestly, are still really avoiding gaining financial knowledge, understanding, power. It's scary to look at your finances when you're not really sure what's going on there, right? And as we help our female clients feel more resilient in their bodies, financial strength, finances is really a part of our strength. And as we gain understanding of the financial picture in our homes and our lives, and we encourage that, then women again feel more secure. See, the thing is that neuroendocrine system likes to be wrapped in a security blanket. My husband is currently working in Denmark, and they have actually a term for this. It's called something like Hygge, Hygge, something like that. And that's because it's so dark and cold all winter in Denmark. But truly what they do is they kind of cocoon in their homes with blankets and candlelight and the security of their closest friends and family. And around the world, there are many cultures where women never have that experience. And what we want to try to do to actually impact their physical pain is to give them this, what I call the Cashmere blanket therapy, or in Denmark they might call it Hygge. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I call it Cashmere blanket therapy. And financial security is a part of Cashmere blanket therapy. All right, and finally, relationships. So, you could have all the money in the world, you could be eating the most nutrient-dense diet in the world, but if you don't have what we call at IWHI the web of support. The web of support is essentially a deep and wide, and for deep and wide for one woman is very different from deep and wide for another woman. Some women, 3 friends that are close that they can count on, that they've known forever, is a deep and wide support network. Other women need, colleagues and people to help take care of their homes and childcare support. And it really just depends on what they are doing in their lives and what resources they need. And close friends. How many of us and our clients have thousands of social media friends but do not have close supportive webs of community in our local areas or somewhere where we can be on the phone, be on Skype, be sitting in someone's living room drinking tea at a moment's notice, because we really need that friendship connection. Again, for the support of our neuroendocrine system or hormone system, it's actually a dangerous situation from a physiologic standpoint when women do not feel that they have the social support that they need, especially among other women. And certainly security in their most intimate relationships, their family, their partners, their spouse. There's a huge rate in the United States of domestic violence and spousal abuse. So again, we have to be open to creating safe spaces in our practices where the women in our communities can come to us and start to build depths of strength and resilience in their bodies, but also in their homes, in their finances, in their relationships, in their communities, because more support is very important to literally reducing physical pain symptoms. All right, let's chat more about this. I know, a lot of people are feeling shaken in the world right now. This is a safe space for you to chat with your ideas and talk about how this is landing with you in the comments below, and please ask me your questions. All right, have a great weekend and get some cashmere blanket time. Wrap that around you. All right, bye-bye.